As much as you and I love the intense moments Hell's Kitchen brings to the table, turns out people actually hate the Hell's Kitchen restaurants. And no, I don't just mean the customers who got smacked down by Chef Ramsey on the show. I'm talking about real-time customers who wait for weeks or months just to get a reservation. Like this customer here had to wait for way too long.
After 8 months of getting a reservation, I finally was able to go famous Hell's Kitchen restaurant.
And after all that, apparently these restaurants don't even live up to the hype. Disappointing, right? So, located at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen is an establishment that not only bears the celebrity chef's name, but also his fame.
It's time to open the doors of Hell's Kitchen.
Now, this restaurant aims to recreate the fiery energy of Chef Ramsay's TV show, complete with a red and blue kitchen and a sprawling dining area that can accommodate over 300 patrons. But despite the buzz and vibrant atmosphere, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen falls short when it comes to flavors. Yeah, shocking, right? Many diners have expressed dissatisfaction with the execution of meat dishes. One frustrated TripAdvisor reviewer complained that she and her husband had a chaotic and loud experience and went to the length of saying it was not worth revisiting. Ouch. The restaurant was pretty hectic when they arrived and they had to wait for their table. I mean, yeah, from the vlogs that I've seen, it's not hard to believe. Like, take a look at this review.
This place is amazing. The decor, the view of the strip, Katie.
It's fabulous.
Well, yeah, they were totally smitten by the decor and the location. But that background noise was just so annoying. Just imagine having a really expensive meal in a place as noisy as this. Anyway, back to the TripAdvisor review. The meal, unfortunately, turned out to be rather ordinary and fell far short of justifying the $100 per person price tag. Both of them opted for the beef Wellington, one of the restaurant's signature dishes. To their dismay, the pastry was overly salty and soggy to boot.
That, coupled with my filet, I think I can't go wrong.
When they brought this up with the server, the response was rather lackluster. The server just didn't seem to care, they didn't offer an alternative, and didn't consider removing the dish from the bill. Instead, they were just simply informed that the restaurant serves around 500 portions of it each day. This experience definitely left them with no desire to return, as they believed there were better dining options to be found in Vegas. Damn, that's just sad. Especially because we've seen Chef Ramsay blow up over the exact same mistake. But Juan Carlos, a diner who recently ate at his LA restaurant, can give him a run for his money. He says, and I quote, "very average food. A university cafeteria could have prepared that food in the menu. Dude woke up and chose violence, huh?"
I can't even believe this is happening right now.
Turns out, they tried a variety of menu items within their group, but none of them stood out. It was quite clear that the food didn't merit the high price they were charged. They couldn't help but feel that the restaurant was essentially trading on its famous name and logo. And in their opinion, the experience didn't justify the cost. And this guy right here feels the very same.
It's not that good. Hell's Kitchen, these are people on the show, it should taste better than that.
Another reviewer on TripAdvisor went so far as to suggest that Ramsay should consider featuring his own restaurant as a contestant on one of his TV shows. They said, "We used to love Hell's Kitchen, and as Las Vegas residents, we frequently recommended it as one of Vegas's finest to all who asked for an opinion." Well, no more. This restaurant needs a rebirth, and unless it takes some quick corrective action, it will be a candidate for Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmare show very soon. That's not all, cause I wonder how Ramsay would feel about his burgers getting a 1-star review. Yeah, because that's what this diner said. She even confessed that a McDonald's chain would serve better burgers without the hard pieces of meat she was served in the LA HK restaurant. On top of the taste concerns, one reoccurring theme that I've noticed is the hefty price tag that's associated with the dining experience at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. Many patrons, and I mean many, have expressed their disappointment in paying top dollar for dishes that don't quite live up to their expectations.
So it tasted like absolute asshole. That lady was super nice. Couldn't tell her that. I didn't have the heart to do it.
Timmy had such a revolting experience that he thought Chef Ramsay would have been swearing all night had it been on an episode of the show. During his holiday in September this year, he decided to give the restaurant a shot. The place was bustling and pretty noisy. Surprisingly, they got a text saying that their table was ready half an hour before they even arrived. When they got there on time, they still had to wait for 20 minutes before they could finally be seated. See the lapse in communication? Now, on to the food. He had high hopes since it was Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, right? But the reality fell short. They went for the signature set menu and started with scallops, only to find them served cold. The beef Wellington, another signature dish, had soggy pastry and lukewarm beef, although the flavor was alright. What's more, they even discovered plastic packaging remnants from the prosciutto in one of the beef Wellingtons. It left them with the impression that the restaurant was more focused on pushing as many diners through as possible, possibly at the expense of food quality, even though it claimed to be a top-class place. He truly believed that Gordon Ramsay wouldn't have allowed such subpar food to be served if he was there himself. To make matters even worse, the wine was ridiculously overpriced. In the end, he wouldn't recommend this restaurant to anyone based on his experience. But hey, at least this customer got to meet Gordon Ramsay, but of course, there was a catch.
As a fucking hologram?
That's not all, one diner even called it a tourist trap. There were some diners who were satisfied with the food, but were let down by the staff. For example, this review by Steven caught my attention. Their dining experience was marred by a server with an arrogant and disrespectful attitude which affected the entire wedding party. The groom had eagerly reserved this table months in advance due to his admiration for Gordon Ramsay's culinary expertise. The disappointing service and atmosphere left a lasting impression. They said that if they had known about the server's behavior, they would have chosen to dine elsewhere, like the Republic of Texas in Corpus Christi, which provided superior service. This incident highlights the importance of training the serving staff in manners and courtesy. Once Mr. Ramsay is done coaching the cooking staff, he thinks the servers were egotistical and disrespectful. And no matter how good or bad the food is, service speaks volumes. Marilyn also warns potential customers not to waste their time. She visited this restaurant recently in October. Being a devoted fan of Gordon Ramsay's MasterChef series, she just couldn't pass up the opportunity to dine here. However, her enthusiasm turned into disappointment. The lady handling the reservations seemed brusque and suggested that she sit at the bar since she was dining alone. She politely expressed her preference for a table, but it seemed her requests were falling on deaf ears. Despite seeing other solo diners being seated, she found herself continually overlooked. She even pointed out a lone gentleman who was seated at a table, but her pleas were met with the response, "You can go to the bar." All in all, it took 45 minutes to secure a table while watching others being promptly seated. Reviews for the restaurant in Lake Tahoe aren't all that impressive either. "Sorry, Chef Ramsay, but have you even visited this place?" asked one disappointed diner. He was left completely baffled by the whole experience. The restaurant had a rather dull setting, a limited menu, and a staff who seemed to be stretching things way too thin. What's more, the seating arrangement was poorly thought out and very uncomfortable. He rarely goes online to leave negative reviews, but after paying over $450 for a party of 4 with minimal drinks and only 3 entrees, and considering the lackluster experience, he felt compelled to caution others. The food didn't impress. In fact, it was mediocre at best. The overall atmosphere was just downright gloomy. It was their first time dining in a Tahoe casino restaurant, and they couldn't help but wonder if they were all as underwhelming as this one. Right from the moment they sat down, they had this sinking feeling that they might have made a mistake. They stuck around, not out of choice, but because the restaurant had charged a deposit for the reservation, even though the place wasn't particularly busy. Without that deposit, they would have definitely left. He couldn't fathom how a place like this would stay in business.
I thought mine was kind of crunchy.
Well, no, our plate wasn't.
That's quite jarring, huh? Meanwhile, Chef Ramsay's actually made use of colorful, poetic comparisons to describe the food on HK.
Look at that! It's like a bison's penis!
But is he prepared to hear this? I ordered a filet mignon for $60, served with 3 little cherry tomatoes and butterflied and cooked so bad that it looked like a dead insect. And this customer right here actually thought the food at Lake Tahoe tasted funky.
I love spicy, but it was like a spicy funky.
And to pay $25 for that? Nah, not good at all. For those of you who didn't know, Chef Ramsay recently opened another HK restaurant in downtown Miami. And looks like the beef Wellington still needs some time in the oven. People have a lot of high expectations given how Chef Ramsay acts on TV, and here's hoping that this one lives up to the hype. Because otherwise, people will keep asking if his standards are just for show. It's not just his HK restaurants, some of his other establishments have also been poorly received by customers. York in Albany is a cozy boutique hotel owned by Ramsay, complete with its own restaurant. The hotel itself is a classic English townhouse, and it's lavishly decorated in various shades of purple. This restaurant serves up classic British dishes like fish and chips and the Sunday roast, which many customers really enjoy. However, there have been some hiccups. One Google reviewer had a disappointing experience with their fish and chips, saying it didn't taste fresh and seemed like it had been cooked and left for a while. Some folks feel that the price at York and Albany don't match the quality. According to another Google review, this place was simply too expensive, with an example of 3.5 chicken wings costing £10, which the reviewer considered quite steep. Highway robbery. I can't believe that Gordon Ramsay still puts his name to this place, wrote another. Horrible food and service. Paid £240 and all I could eat was the bread and fries since the rest was inedible, wrote another disappointed patron. You'll be surprised to see the overwhelming number of 1-star reviews this place has, with many people claiming that they won't ever return to eat there. One of the harshest critiques came from Brittany Nyhouse. She wrote, I had high expectations as I watched a lot of Ramsey's shows, so I always saw how seriously he took his cooking and even the service in his restaurants. I have determined now that it seems to be some sort of TV act. I now completely understand why people avoid celebrity cook restaurants. Save your money and your time because the servers could care less about yours. Damn. On the positive side, the restaurant is in a great location in Regent's Park, London, and the staff is so friendly. But if you're expecting the same level of excellence you see on Gordon Ramsay's TV shows, you might be in for a letdown. Next, you must have obviously heard about the Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill. It has locations in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Las Vegas, Nevada. True to its name, it's a mix of an English pub and grill. These spots aim for a lively atmosphere with exciting flavors and a generous serving of beer. The Las Vegas branch, situated in Caesar's Palace, even connects to the casino floor. Their menu features traditional English pub dishes like fish and chips, beef Wellington, and onion and ale soup. They also offer Ramsay's unique spins on classic favorites like the Maine lobster pot pie. Now, it's not exactly that the pub and grill is a complete letdown, it's just that, considering the hype, it doesn't quite hit the mark. Service can be a hiccup, as reported by a reviewer on TripAdvisor who dined in Atlantic City. They mentioned feeling rushed, receiving minimal guidance from the server, and weren't asked if they wanted more drinks after their meal. The icing on the cake, quite literally, was a cold piece of yellow cake with a candle, seemingly lacking in birthday flair along with the bill. This might not be the ideal place for non-meat eaters, which isn't surprising. Another TripAdvisor review expressed disappointment with the limited vegetarian options on the menu, stating, I'm very disappointed that out of everything, they cut the vegetarian options from the menu. Gordon Ramsay just lost a customer because they don't actually think about everyone eating there. Salad is not a meal. You see, Chef Ramsay might be in his bad reputation era. By the way, he also unveiled the very first line of frozen foods known as the By the Chef Ramsay collection. You can grab these frozen delights exclusively at Walmart stores across the country. And you can also grab a channel membership by hitting this tab right here. From exciting surprises to exclusive behind-the-scenes moments, I'll be revealing this and much more throughout this year. Anyway, with that out of the way, turns out Chef Ramsay's frozen menu features the chef's personal favorite dishes, including lasagna and shepherd's pie. Now, you might assume that Ramsay's fans would be super excited about this news, but well, that's not right at all. Some folks have pointed out that Ramsay has been quite critical of frozen food on his TV shows, and he's famous for his high standards in the kitchen. One person on Twitter, X I guess, expressed their disappointment, saying respect lowered. And another online commenter called him a complete sellout. There was even someone who gave Ramsay's mac and cheese a shot and had some strong opinions to share. It might be the worst frozen mac and cheese I've had in a long time. The noodles were rubbery, the cornbread crumbs were soggy, and the cheese sauce was just strange. I expected better from him, especially considering how he feels about frozen food. But my absolute favorite review is this.
Man, Gordon, if your mom saw this, she would slap the British out of you. You gotta return your Michelin stars.
Slap the British out of you. That's hilarious. People have slammed him, accusing him that money is obviously more important to him than standing by his own personal beliefs. Can't blame them, Chef Ramsay made himself look like a donut. But why did he do this? Now, you must have come across videos while scrolling through Instagram or YouTube or even TikTok showcasing a restaurant's beautiful decor, fancy drinks, and tempting dishes. You might think, wow, this place looks amazing. These videos can make you want to visit the restaurant, right? But here's the twist, I'm not so sure if these reviews are so reliable. Now, there's a sea of reviewers out there, and many of them didn't have a great time at these Gordon Ramsay restaurants. Like I've just covered, lots of these folks weren't too thrilled with their meals. Then there's the YouTube food vloggers. They make those mouth-watering videos that make you want to try the food, right?
This is like Gordon Ramsay's probably most famous dish out of all of his restaurants.
But guess what? Sometimes they're paid to say all these glowing things about the restaurant, just like how the customers who make it onto the show are. It's just how digital marketing works. The restaurants gain exposure and advertising at a cost that is minimal compared to producing, distributing, and promoting their own content. So the best way to find out if a restaurant is really as good as it looks on Instagram or YouTube is to just try it yourself. But have you ever given the real Hell's Kitchen a try? What was your experience like? Make sure to drop your experience in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. And I can say with confidence that a channel membership is way better value than Chef Ramsey's frozen food. Also, if you thought this video was crazy, wait till you see the next post right here since it's even better.